I'm Rida Fakhri. Welcome to We the People. Outsourcing, the mass movement of jobs overseas, was a way for U.S. companies to save money on labor and production. But now there's a new twist: insourcing. That's when foreign companies set up plants in the United States and hire Americans. Companies from Europe, India, even China are flocking to former manufacturing towns in the United States. What is fueling this trend? The rising price of oil and a weak dollar. And there's another reason. As wages among workers in developing countries rise, salaries for the large pools of low-skilled labor in the U.S. are now becoming affordable. 5.3 million Americans receive a paycheck from a foreign firm. These companies spent over $275 billion in the United States in 2007. That's a 67% increase from the previous year. We the People travels to Danville, Virginia, to explore how insourcing is changing the face of America.
My name is James Keith Evans, and I live in Danville, Virginia. Born and raised in the Danville area, raised in the country right here. It's a small town that's grown up rather quick. It's gotten big city problems in the last 20 years. And for 5 years, they've led the state in unemployment. And this last year is just now finally making a turn. Love you.
Love you
Bye.
too. Bye.
Wendy and I she's my wife. We dated in junior high school, all the way through high school, and we've been married 21 years, been working on the 22nd. Right after I was married and went through my honeymoon and all, I went to Dan River, and been there ever since. Well, until they closed. Dan River, everything built around it. Since 1868, they built the town. It's established because of them. Everybody, your mother or your dad, one of your parents worked at Dan River. Maybe not for a long time, but everybody's tried it.
I'm Jeriel Gwaltney. I was in city manager of Danville for 8.5 years. Very recently retired. I think if you look at the city of Danville, its economy was built on two staples of economics. One was because of its location here in the South Side, Virginia. There was a tremendous rich heritage of tobacco, and the work ethic comes from the tobacco farmers. Therefore, the location of Danville became a tobacco mecca of the auction houses and the storage of tobacco. There was a second economy, if you will, and that was the textiles. And the textiles go way, way back, of course, into the years of the city. And so you had really a two-pronged economy.
It's a sad sight seeing all this. And considered a cotton mill, but it's still one of the state-of-the-art facilities. We didn't pay no attention to globalization. It didn't affect us. I mean, I never knew nothing about it. I didn't care. I had a job. It won't ever happen to us. And didn't know what it meant at all until actually when you lose your job. And then you wake up that next Monday morning, what are you going to do? You're going to wait for your unemployment to kick in, and are you going to get unemployment? What about 6 months when it runs out? What are you going to do? It's you and your wife. There's no income, It's dark. It's sad. I haven't put these in there. These are my babies. I love this job. It's a great job. I enjoyed it. I'm seeing they don't even sell the machinery. It just sits here and rots. It's pretty heartbreaking.
I came on board January of 2000, and textiles basically went first as far as leaving the community. And then all of a sudden, lo and behold, here goes tobacco. So in the final analysis, the world global market got the two basic staples of the economy in Danville, Virginia, and they just went offshore, and that was it. Most of these people grew up first, second, third generation in tobacco and textiles. Extremely emotional situation in the community to see these plants close down and those gates are locked and never for them to go back in there. I think it is a fair assessment that Danville was in dire straits and was in need of being rebuilt. Danville was hit very hard by its economy going offshore. But if you want to reverse that trend, you go offshore also, and you've got to step out of that box. You've got to look at a world globally. Okay, if we think globally, we can hopefully make the positive end of that and make it work to our benefit.
Not only is it impossible to turn back the tide of globalization, but efforts to do so can actually make us worse off. So rather than fear the future, we have to embrace it.
I put out the word everywhere I knew how to put it out. We'll go anywhere in the world to look for a job to bring to our people.
Good to see you. Good to see you.
And we wanted those jobs to be good paying jobs. We had to set some priorities on what type of industry we wanted.
This guy's done more for the city of Danville.
Brought a lot of good business here.
I traveled, let's see, I started with Paris, France, all over Germany, Korea, Hong Kong, China, India, Mexico, South America, Indonesia, Singapore, a whole lot of them. You've got to put that thinking cap on it. We need to understand that our way is not the only way. I think we as Americans think we can do it best. But I've been all over the world, and I've seen a lot of places that I think they do it better than we do. And we got to forget our pride and step out there. The workforce that's left out there has to be rebuilt to be able to compete in a global market. So you can have a pretty devastating experience there. So what do you have to do?
We have an obligation to help our workers receive the training they need when plants close and jobs are lost. Under my reforms, we will use our community colleges to help train workers for specific opportunities in their hometowns.
This community college, it really helped polish them skills up. The point of the program was to get people to know your technical terms instead of going in and saying what you call it and thingamajig. People to be more technical with their speaking, and it just so happened Swedewood hired everybody in our class. There was 19 of us who finished, and Swedewood was offering a brand new fresh start. Because while all the other companies were leaving, and especially furniture companies, this is the only one coming here to start over.
Your traditional manufacturing went abroad. What's coming back to the United States is upscale, more technical manufacturing, so you have to have the employee base to do that. You could find a Mexican firm today in Danville. You can find a Polish firm today in Danville. You can find Swedish firms. There's an Indian firm. There's an English firm. And so we were able to develop an international flavor within the community. I can remember when there was nothing right here, just nothing but trees. To be competitive, we had to build this park, the road to the future. With that type of thinking, we have been able to attract the offshore companies to come back to our community. We traveled to get Swedewood. That was a combination of Sweden and Poland.
Swedewood is the largest furniture maker in the world. I started January 2008. We're making furniture. It's not a very big investment. It's space-saving furniture. It's very versatile. They're paying above average, and I'm already making more than what I was making after 20 years at the other factory. It's sad to say, but actually the fall of the dollar made us more economical for them. And if that's good for them, that's great for us.
He's saying that we can take...
Nobody's going to come just because they like you. They're going to come because they can make money. And you gotta help them be able to make money. What a great opportunity for people to have. The global economy is in Danville. The global economy has become a very integral part of what we are all about in our community today.
Hoping that, you know, this job will stay here. It won't just leave, be another company that comes in to start, and 5 years later it's no longer in business, you know. But it seems to be Sweetwood and IKEA is here for a long, you know, haul. Not a job just for me, but maybe a job for my son, and maybe a job for, you know, his kids, you know, just like Dan River was, you know, a job for generations.
Go see you.